Well, listen, I really appreciate the invitation to be here, and I'm surprised by the turnout, frankly. That's good. That's encouraging. You know, I think the crisis in Iraq poses major challenges for U.S. policymakers. The first is what to do about ISIS. You know, ISIS is a new face of al-Qaeda and the much larger radical Islamic movement. The U.S. challenge here is that we have never had a comprehensive strategy to defeat radical Islam. Doesn't exist. We don't even have a military strategy. The administration has made a correct decision to aid the Free Syrian Army. The problem with it is it's feeble in terms of what they're providing. They're going to train somewhere in the neighborhood of less than 3,000. And they're providing some weapons, but not nearly the amount of weapons that are needed. 2 years ago, Secretary Clinton, Secretary Panetta, and Director Petraeus made a recommendation to the administration in the summer of 2012 to do exactly what we're describing now. That was 2 years ago. And the President said no. We would be in a much better position today if he had said yes with the proper amount of support. You know, the key policy decisions in 2009 to get disengaged from Iraq politically and to no longer help shape Iraq's political future was disastrous. And it began right in January of 2009 with the arrival of a new ambassador. Particularly in light of our previous success in post-conflict in Germany, Japan, Italy, Korea, Bosnia-Herzegovina, and the Philippines. All of those were post-conflict success stories where our major focus was the growth and development of the country politically and economically. And we pulled away from that in 2009. And then 2011, we pulled away from Iraq militarily. Both of those decisions were disastrous for Iraq, as we are painfully aware of. What can we do about that? I think diplomatically, Secretary Kerry should work with countries in the region that have close relationships with the Sunni politicians in Iraq and the tribal leaders. Those are specifically Saudi Arabia, Jordan, and Qatar, to move them away from ISIS and to move them back toward a new political process in Iraq. Maliki obviously has to go, as everybody has said who's come up to this microphone, and a new government has to be formed. But it's not going to happen unless we assist in that process. Politically, I would dispatch Ambassador Crocker and General Petraeus to Iraq. They have been very successful there. They have many relationships that are meaningful. They're highly respected. And I think they would be able to help move that political process towards a unity government that would be inclusive of the Kurds, the Sunnis, and the Shias, and then begin the process of reconciling the Sunni tribes. The last issue is, should we work with Iran, given the fact, interestingly, we have a common enemy in ISIS, and help and work with Iran to defeat ISIS? Absolutely not. Iran is the United States' strategic adversary in the region. Iran desires regional hegemony, declared the United States in 1980 as their #1 strategic enemy in the world. Additionally, in Iraq, it is the Quds Force in two separate bases that trained the Iraq Shia militia, who, using advanced technology and IEDs that they provided, began a systematic campaign to use that technology exclusively against American troops. General Lloyd Austin, who's now the CENTCOM commander, estimates that out of the 4,400 American troops that were killed in Iraq, he thinks that close to 2,000 of them were done at the hands of the Iranians. Most other analysts would come down in that number, but nobody's below 1,300 on Americans killed at the hands of Iranian proxies. So can you imagine that after that I just described to you, if we attempted to associate ourselves with Iran because of a near-term common interest, that would be a moral outrage as far as I'm concerned. And it absolutely makes no sense whatsoever. What we should be doing is assisting Iraq in the manner that I described. What are the Iranians doing in Iraq? Well, they've got a headquarters at the Rashid Airport, which is southeast of Baghdad. From there, they provide advisors and command and control of what they have in Iraq. They're providing, the Quds Force has organized the Shia militia and they help to facilitate their movement to and their organization with 5 Iraqi divisions. That's important, what they're doing. And Maliki has brought them in there for obvious reasons, because Maliki is the Iranian stooge. Thank you.